Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Julie and today you are joining me on a super fun brand new video where I'll be answering all of your questions on Instagram that lands into my DMs. We're keeping it super casual today, so I'll be going through all of these DMs in no particular order. Continue watching to see if your space gets featured in this brand new video. If you've ever wanted to send me videos or photos of your space, now is your chance to do it. Follow me on Instagram at Julie_Khuu. I share a lot of interior design tips, Feng Shui tips, really simple lifestyle, home decor, furniture, space planning advice. And if you ever wanted some really quick advice, DM is the way to do it. If you're a longtime follower of the channel, you'll know that I answer every single question that lands into the comment section. A lot of the times the questions can be answered with one or two simple sentences, but what if you have a really awkward space or a very challenging condition in which you need to send me a video? So I'll be filtering through a few DMs that I've received with photos or videos and give you my expert advice on what I would do in their space. The first inquiry comes from Denise Grange, and she says, "Dear Julie, I've been following your YouTube channel since I discovered you. I love your interior design tips." That's really great because you always want to start buttering me up right with the first comment. "I have a small duplex penthouse. I have a kitchen and bedroom and bathrooms downstairs, and since upstairs is small, I have made a closed laundry, home office, and will be doing another small sofa, TV, etc. This is really common because I know a lot of you have a multifunctional space. You might need to use it for a home office, an exercise room, a TV room. It might need to host guests, so I absolutely understand that you need this small space for multifunctional usage. I have gone for dark wood effect tiles for the kitchen and bedrooms and a cream of marfil tile for the corridor and upstairs room. The stairs that connects them I have issues with, as I was going for wood steps to keep the same idea throughout, but then I thought this would chip or dent over time and considered marble. The thing is that nothing will match exactly, so I'm between options." So let's break down Denise's issue. Her issue is that she has chosen a tile to be combined with tile. We have a dark wood porcelain or ceramic tile to be matched with a creme marfil marble. The issue with having tile that runs up your stairs is that the contractor has to miter every single edge that meets every single stair and tread. So every single time you have a step, a riser and a tread. So the riser is the vertical part of the stair and the tread is the horizontal part that you step on. It has to meet at a corner. The only way for you to get a really nice sharp corner is for the contractor to miter the corner, which means they cut that tile at a 45-degree angle so that two tiles can meet and form a 90-degree angle. The issue becomes tile on the stairs that you step on every single day. Yes, it will chip. Yes, it will crack. There's a possibility that you could drop something heavy on it and then all of a sudden you have to replace that entire piece of tile. Since you haven't installed any of the materials in your space, I love the creme marfil. I love the idea of having a wood effect tile, but I'm wondering why you didn't choose a laminate or an engineered wood or even a hardwood for your space so you can run it on the entire first floor and up the stairwell. You can transition that plank into any other type of material you choose. But the great thing about laminate or even vinyl tile or engineered wood or hardwood is that they make full-size wood treads out of this material. They also protect that tread with a particular nosing. It could be a bull nose where you have a little bit of a rounded edge on the tread. It could be more of a squared edge, but the idea is that that edge for the stairwell is a little bit thicker, is more protected, and it's made specifically for stairs. Of course, if you still decide to move forward with the tile, I would get your contractor to miter the edges so you get a really sharp, clean finish. The next inquiry comes from Shanda Chappell. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but you have sent me two different images and you said, "Moving into my new home pretty soon in May, and the kitchen is connected. I've been watching your focal point walls, still clueless on what to do. So I see that you have a blank space, this beautiful fireplace that is flanked by symmetrical windows. I love a great fireplace flanked by symmetry. There are so many things that you can do to make this functional, inviting, and of course elevated. So your issue is that it opens up to the kitchen. So let's say the kitchen is its own separate area. I don't think that you need to consider the kitchen as part of your focal point in the living room as much as you think. Even though it's an adjacent area and you have an open archway that looks right into the kitchen, consider them two completely separate areas. Let's focus on the fireplace wall. So you've got this really beautiful stone fireplace. I almost wish that your builder wrapped that entire stone around this pillar so it looks a little bit more finished. That's not something that's a total deal breaker to me. You could really fake this to look like it's a more elevated built-in. I would probably wrap that mantle around the entire space and paint the bottom portion of that so that it matches the color of the stone. So what you're doing is you're creating more of a three-dimensional finish quality to the focal point in the room, which is this beautiful fireplace. So the first idea is to wrap the mantle. The second idea is to finish that bottom portion with stone, but if you no longer have that stone, you could also paint it the same color as the stone and it'll give it that same effect. For me, I feel like the wall and the stone doesn't really vibe. The wall has almost like a cool tone beige and the stone is like a warmer stone. So I would actually paint this entire space maybe in like an off-white color or a warmer beige color so the fireplace becomes the focus. Now you've taken care of the fireplace. What are you going to do above it? I love a really fabulous statement mirror moment happening above a fireplace, especially if you are hanging a pendant or a chandelier in the seating group that's directly right in front of the fireplace. What you could do is reflect the beautiful light that bounces off of that mirror and bring more light into a space. I mean, who doesn't want more light into their living room, right? The next items to address are these empty windows. Privacy might not be an issue since the windows are so high up, but here's an opportunity for you to create something really beautiful and something really symmetrical. If you favor a more modern look, I would do something like textured shades, maybe bamboo or woven woods. If you have more of a traditional vibe, you could line these windows with shears layered with drapery panels. What you would get is a really beautiful elevation of color, texture, dimension. It brings a warmer, more elegant quality to the formal living space. You might notice on the left side of the wall, there is a plug for you to place your television. The previous owners may have put their television on the left side of the wall, which makes absolute sense. You'll know that it's one of my biggest common design mistakes in the living room to place your television and mount it right above a fireplace because the angle to view it is not the most ergonomic. You're almost straining your neck to view the television at a higher angle as opposed to keeping it lower and more at eye level. So the previous owners probably had the right idea by putting their television on the left side so it's a little bit more ergonomic for the viewer. However, there is a way around this. If you decide not to place a statement mirror above the fireplace, you could also mount the television above the fireplace and put it on a hydraulic lift. I actually have a current client that did that for his home and it is spectacular. It's so functional. It makes perfect sense. The area that is beside the television is so dinky and so small, you can't get anything larger than a 60-inch TV in there, and especially for a large living room space, it just doesn't make sense. So if you can invest in a hydraulic mount for the television, that hydraulic mount not only comes out, comes down, swivels around, but it will also create that focal point that you are desiring in the living space. The next question comes from Felix, and Felix writes in with a Feng Shui related question. Hi Julie, I really enjoy your content. You mentioned a water feature in the north and a painting will do. If my house interior is largely beige, is it okay to have a painting that resembles water but not blue? This is a very, very common question I get, and Feng Shui is all about elements and compass directions and using the Bagua map related to the grid in your home. So I get it. Every single wall and corner in the grid is tied to a particular color and a particular element. The north wall is tied to the water element with colors black, dark blue, and and maybe like a dark purple. You can probably get away with that. So if you want to energize the north corner of your space, you could decorate it with those colors, or you could place a water feature like an indoor waterfall or a painting of water. But what if that color messes with your interior aesthetic? I understand that completely. I mean, if you have a predominantly beige space, how do you inject color in there? You might not want to. So if you place a water image like a beach or a lake or a pond on that north wall, you will incite that element. You will energize that element, but not as much as if the image also had blues and blacks and dark greens in it. So you understand what I'm saying? You have the opportunity to energize the element by how much you're willing to commit. At the very minimum, you have something that depicts water. So you're already halfway there. If you wanted to level it up a little bit, that picture could have blues, blacks, greens in it. And that is just going to vibrate that water element higher and higher and higher. So it's really up to you and how much you want to commit to in your space. So based on the 3 images that Felix has sent in, the top could absolutely work. I actually have a sepia toned water image on my north wall in my kitchen, but I also have a sink. I also have the refrigerator. So I'm not worried about that water element being highly energized. The second image is almost a higher contrast, gray gradient. The last picture is absolutely my favorite. I mean, it has water elements. It's got this really beautiful aerial view. It has active water, which is really great for the north wall, especially if it's in a common area. Not so great for the bedrooms, where active water energies signify the yang element in a yin space of rest. So you want to be really careful about putting active water elements in a bedroom space versus a common area like the kitchen. I hope that answers your question, Felix, and helps you really whittle this down to your absolute favorite in your space. If you have any questions when it comes to Feng Shui, I have a really huge Feng Shui playlist. If you want to understand the Bagua map better, understand the elements, colors, and interior design as it relates to Feng Shui, definitely check out my video on how to use the Bagua map in your living room. The next inquiry comes from Grace. She writes, "Hi Julie, I wasn't sure if you read DM, but I might as well try. We bought this house in Hacienda Heights last year and we're finally doing the entryway, but we're having some difficulties finding the right pieces." This is great. I mean, she sent me an entire video, so we're going to take a look at her space and see what's missing. You walk into the space, and this is really common. You're actually walking right into a common area. In this case, it's her living room. She has accordion doors right in front. It looks like a very small landing space on the left side, maybe even like a little hallway closet. So I see the challenge. The challenge is, how do you carve out a landing space in your entryway when it opens right up into the living room? I see where you're going with this, Grace, and you have the right idea. You have this small little storage bench in the space that is functional. It's a place for you to put your shoes on, take them off. It's almost a landing space for you and your guests. But there is a missed opportunity here in that you have this area that is right beyond the entry that you could create for your entry zone. Another idea for you to create a functional landing zone is in the living room. You could remove the single accent chair and create your landing space there. It would be the same idea behind the design hacks, 5 things you need in the entryways video. You could flank a console there, a mirror or beautiful artwork above it, a place for you to put on your shoes. It could be an ottoman, it could be a bench. You could have a really beautiful teeny tiny table lamp there if you remember from my design trends video. You could free up the space on the tabletop by installing wall sconces. I mean, the sky's the limit, especially in this wide open space like your living room that gets a lot of really beautiful light. Remember that this is your home and the space only needs to make sense to you. How you design it is ultimately how it will function. If you need some help sourcing these pieces, Grace, definitely check out my entryways playlist where I link a ton of my favorite entryway pieces. We might have time for one more. Let's go through these. Matt Clemmens writes in, "Hi Julie, we love watching your YouTube videos and would love to chat about what it would look like to have you help us design our home. One look at this home and it is absolutely stunning. It is a custom residence. You can absolutely tell by not only the exterior landscaping, but really what they've done inside. I would love to get my hands on a property like this. I mean, I have so many ideas swimming already. And of course, it always starts with a consultation with a client, especially if they're not local. I'm based in Orange County, and unfortunately right now we have so many full service design clients that I have to put e-design on hold. I have young babies that I'm taking care of right now as well, and even though my older one, Kamari, is in preschool, the younger one is almost going to turn 1. So I feel like I'm transitioning out of a full-time mommy mode, work from home, stay at home mode, and getting back into e-design again. So if you have a space that's not local to Southern California, I would love to hear from you. I might even start to get a wait list put together, because it's properties like this that get me really excited about interior design, especially if you've been watching my channel, you want to implement my tips, but you just don't know how. Continue to watch the channel and write in with all of your questions. I would love to get to all of your inquiries on my Instagram, especially if you want to send in photos or videos. Make sure you follow me at Julie_Khuu on Instagram and TikTok. A lot of you write in to tell me that you've been watching my channel for ages and you've implemented all of my tips and your home has been transformed as a result. I want to see it. Send me all your before and afters, and I would love to get your space featured in a future video on my channel. If you like this type of content and you want more Q&As, please give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with anyone you know who's looking to get my expert advice and design tips. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Click that little notification bell to be notified of new videos that we drop every single Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week.